Hello students, welcome back to your video class. In the previous video, we had started your English subject lesson number 2. The Tsunami is the name of the chapter, and in English we have read one part of this chapter, if you remember, and I explained how tsunami, this very big, giant, very destructive wave, or you can say a very big, there was a big, very destructive earthquake in 26 January on 26 December, not January 2004. In Thailand, and due to that the nearest islands of India like Andaman Nicobar Islands, these were very severely affected, and some other parts of the surrounding of the Thailand, those were affected. And that time, it was very powerful wave, because in the water, in the sea water, there was a big earthquake, and due to that earthquake the sea water level went up and created a very heavy wave, very large and powerful wave. You cannot imagine how fast and how large it was, that the surrounding area was lost with water, houses washed away, people washed away, and many animals died. But during that time, many of the people survived, many of the people escaped from that part, and how they survived. So we have been reading in this chapter Tsunami, giant wave, how people survived and their stories. In the first story we read about Ignatius and his family, how they died, and then we read about Sanjeev. He was a policeman, and how Sanjeev jumped into the water to rescue a lady, and both swept away in the water. And then 13-year-old Meghna's story we read, then Almas Javed's story we read, and now we are starting with the part second, 27 number page. So you open your book, and here we go. Further we will be reading some more stories of the people who survived and who saved others that time in 2004 on 26th December. So here we go. Tilly Smith, a British school girl, was able to save many lives when the tsunami struck Phuket beach in Thailand. Though she has won a number of awards, her parents have not allowed their daughter to be interviewed on television and made into a heroine. Why do you think they took that decision? Tilly Smith, a British schoolgirl, she saved many lives that time in Thailand, and but number of awards she has received, but her parents have refused to people to interview her and bring her on TV and make her an actress or heroine or a star, like bringing in front of people on the screen. So let's see why Tilly's parents refused. They denied. Now, here is a story from Thailand. The Smith family from southeast England were celebrating Christmas at a beach resort in southern Thailand. In Thailand, southeast England family, Smith family. They were celebrating Christmas, and you see 26th December, 25th December Christmas, so they were celebrating. Tilly Smith was 10-year-old school girl, her sister was 7 years old. Their parents were Penny and Colin Smith, were named parents. It was 26 December 2004. Deadly tsunami waves, deadly, causing deaths, were already on their way. It was coming. They had been triggered by a massive earthquake. You must learn these collocations of the words while reading massive earthquake. So how we can use an adjective for earthquake? Massive earthquake, giant wave, large wave. When you read, you must learn to use the combinations of the words. Do not learn the words separately. Always learn them with their adjectives. Okay? So you learn to use the words in practical use of writing and speaking. Of northern Sumatra earlier the morning, that was morning time, 26th December, the water was swelling, coming up and kept coming in. Penny Smith remembered the beach was getting smaller and smaller. The water was coming out and swelling. I didn't know what was happening, and but Tilly Smith sensed that something was wrong. Tilly was 8 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, 10 years old. So she sensed that something was wrong. Her mind kept going back to a geography lesson, because she was a student and she must have studied in geography that when there is something, high tide, low tide, or any earthquake in the water, then water swells and becomes forms a deadly wave or like that. Back to geography lesson she had taken in England just 2 weeks before. She flew out to Thailand with her family. Tilly saw the sea slowly rise. Sea was rising up. The water was rising up and start to bubble and form whirlpools and bubbles. She remembered that she had seen this in class in a video of a tsunami that had hit the Hawaiian Islands in 1946. She watched a video, and in that video, a tsunami had hit Hawaiian Islands in 1946, long years back. Her geography teacher had shown her class the video and told them the tsunamis can be caused by earthquakes, volcanoes and landslides. These can be the reasons, the cause of erupting, cause of tsunami waves. Tilly started to scream at her family to get off the beach. She screamed, shouted that leave the beach immediately. She talked about an earthquake under the sea. She got more and more hysterical, like not in sense. And said her mother Penny, I didn't know what a tsunami was. But seeing my daughter so frightened, Penny tells that seeing my daughter so frightened, I didn't know what a tsunami is. I heard from my daughter, and as she was frightened, she was fearful, I thought something serious must be going on. Tilly's parents took her and her sisters away from the beach to the swimming pool at the hotel. A number of other tourists also left the beach with them. So everybody left the beach, and then it was as if the entire sea had come out after them, and the water came. We cannot guess how much. I was screaming, run, 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 run. The family took refuge in the third floor of a hotel. In the third floor of a hotel, the building withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves. If they had stayed on the beach, they would not have been alive. That hotel building was so strong and withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves, and that's why they survived, because they stayed on the third floor of the hotel, and they saved their life. If they had been at the beach, they would not have been alive. The Smiths later met other tourists after the wave was down, who had lost entire families there, because nobody knew. On the beach you see many people enjoy, thousands of people come on the beach, they enjoy, and if all of a sudden this happens, then who can tell them that this type of thing is going to happen. So it was a very heavy, large and very big wave. So the Smiths later met other tourists who had lost entire families. Thanks to Tilly, and it was all because of Tilly, because Tilly warned them, because Tilly sensed that something was going to happen very seriously, because she had watched a video and she had read in geography, and her teacher had shown the class that video of tsunami that happened in 1946. So thanks to Tilly and her geography lesson, really, they had been forewarned before warning. The situation was clear. Tilly went back to her school to England and told her classmates her terrifying tale. And Tilly told everything what happened there in Thailand. So there is comprehension check, so you just see the questions and then try to answer them, and we will complete this chapter in the next class, next video, and then we'll do the question answers. So by the time you must reread this chapter and find the new words, like I have written here, a massive earthquake, and some more words you can see on the in the margin of the book, like hysterical, refugee, withstood, and surge. So these new words you will come across, and we will continue with this chapter. We'll complete it in the next class. Thank you so much.